Tell me, darling, could we run away? We could hide away by the cactus desert blue. I can see it just a mile away from this crowded place. I could lay there next to you.
Welcome back to our channel, Best Freaking Friends Forever. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys haven't subscribed or commented or liked our channel, please do so. That really helps us out. So today we're going to talk about the second Matrix movie, The Matrix Reloaded. So it was released in May of 2003, so May 15th actually of 2003. It had a budget of $150 million. So opening weekend, and this was the biggest movie for them in that franchise. So opening weekend it made $92 million, and which with today's inflation would be $132 million. In the US it grossed $282 million, which was with inflation $403 million. And then worldwide it grossed $742 million, which hits the billion mark. So $1 billion with inflation today. So it's a big earning movie.
It's a big franchise. It's a big, yeah. Like I said before, if had this come out later, I think it would have surpassed everything. Neo, he's dreaming, right? We think it's an action scene, which shows up later in the movie. We see Trinity, and she's in the Matrix, and she's fighting. I think Neo is his own oracle in a way, because he'll go to her, and she's like, "I think you already know the answer." But I think even after he knows he's the one, so to speak, he still second guesses himself.
Well, and he keeps seeing her he keeps dreaming that dream too of her dying or her being shot falling from the skyscraper.
Yeah.
And he senses stuff I feel like he senses when the agents are close and they're going to do something.
Yeah, because they have a meeting with people from Zion, and he's standing there kind of like scoping things out, and he senses the agent is close by.
Yep. And he goes up to check on it, doesn't he? And that's when he gets the package of the earpiece. Yeah. Well, and again, this is when they have to find the key maker to get to the source or to get to the architect.
Yes.
So they have to go to the Frenchman and his wife, and they won't help them. And they have the key maker, and they won't help him, but the wife ends up helping him. And so she ends up helping them, and then the two characters, I call them, I just think of them as ghosts because they're so, they're just, I don't know. And then they have a huge fight scene on the highway, basically, after they get the key maker.
To kiss the Frenchman's wife.
Yeah.
She wants a kiss in return for finding the key maker.
Yeah, because she wants to feel, because he says he feels love, and she could sense the love between Neo and Trinity, and she wants to feel that one more time. Because I guess she doesn't feel, she used to, but she doesn't with the Frenchman anymore.
Well, I think he says, this woman will be the death of me. He can open doors and, different things will be behind them just by using a certain key.
Well, and even when he gives them the key for the motorcycle, when Trinity has him with the motorcycle, because she called in to get a program to hotwire a certain type of motorcycle. Well, that's what I commented to you that the fight scenes are super long in this one. Each fight scene seems to go on forever.
Yeah, my least favorite is the one with him and the agents. He just got done talking to the Oracle, and once again, she pretty much tells him he has a choice. And he sees, then the Agent Smith comes up. But the reason why Agent Smith is able to duplicate is because of Neo and what he did in the first movie. So in the first movie, he jumps inside Agent Smith and then blows him up. And so because he did that, it taught that program, Agent Smith, how to duplicate. And he's just able to keep taking over all these different programs and different people. And we start already in this movie, we're starting to see him take over the Matrix. Agent Smith is.
Yep, and I think that's why they're in such a push this round to get to the architect and to get, because they say one way to get rid of basically a virus, which is kind of what he's becoming, is to go to the source. And I think that's what they're trying to do. And then he tells them that, yeah, you can get in with this key, but you've got all these power grids that need to be shut down, and you'll have to have it shut down for this long. And so everything has to be like timed perfectly. I think for all of this to work. And I think stuff does end up going wrong. Like I think the ones that were supposed to turn off the one, they're unplugged, I think, from the one guy, because he ends up taking over his body, right? Agent Smith does. And he ends up getting into their ranks, I guess.
Yeah.
And so he ends up unplugging all of those specific people that were in charge of that part. So then Trinity, because Neo asked her, he's like, will you promise not to come in after, like this time? He's like, would you do that? And she agrees, but then she senses that they don't have much time left. And if they don't get to where they need to get, things are going to go bad. So she does end up going in and helping him.
Yep. Well, while she's doing that, he finally gets in to see the architect.
Yes.
And once again, he has another choice. He has the choice to go through this door and say, because they give him the option. Well, they tell Neo that there has been 6 other chosen ones. And every time, like, the Matrix kind of, in a sense, makes the chosen one. So they program the chosen one. So the chosen one is real, is a human, but the Matrix is able to program that human. 6 before him, it was always the same thing over and over. It was get to the architect, be able to rebuild Zion, and have new members of the council, and move on. Now the other door, which the Matrix they're kind of experiencing, or they're experimenting with, is love. And so he has the choice to go through this other door and go save Trinity.
Yep, because he finds out she came in after him.
Yeah. Yep, and he is now able to, he makes that decision to save Trinity. That's what he decides her over humanity, which no other chosen one has ever done that. Probably because they never experienced love. Yep.
Well, yeah, because he would have gone through the one door and picked I think so many males, so many females, and they would have rebuilt Zion off of that. And then, but with the choice he made, all of humanity would be lost, basically, if he chose that. And that's what he chose.
Right, because that goes back to Zion is preparing for a war with the machines.
Yes.
Yeah, so that goes back to that, where they're going back and forth on the committee. The council is making a decision on how to fight off the machines, which we don't get to see that battle until the 3rd movie.
Right.
Yeah, but we even get to see Zion. Now, one thing I liked about these movies, all 3 of them, to me, the aesthetic stayed the same. A lot of times you'll get into movies that have multiples, like they'll have like a franchise, and the aesthetic doesn't stay the same. So like they even kept the machines looking the same from the first, which I really appreciated, because a lot of times they'll say, oh, well, let's change this. Well, look at Harry Potter and the Dementors. Their look changed on a level where the machine runs Zion, keeps things moving, keeps things going, keeps the power on, that sort of thing. And they have this talk back and forth. And one thing Neo says is, the councilman says, without this machine, we would not be able to do all of what we do. And Neo says, so we are plugged into the machines just as much as they're plugged into us. And that is so true, especially in this movie. Just how, the Matrix needs humans, and at the end of the day, we need them. I mean, a lot of people might think of a machine as in the sense of like a computer, and that's not, we don't need a computer to survive, but we need our furnaces, we need our electric. Those are machines. Like that is a a functioning mechanism that keeps us going. I mean, our cars, we have to have those to get to and from work, which we need work so that we can pay our bills, so we can pay for food, you know. So yes, we are plugged into them for sure.
Yeah, more now than ever.
He goes and saves Trinity. Trinity dies. She was shot by the agent when she's fallen out the window. And Neo is able to save her from the fall, at least. And he
caught her, which was, I guess, they made it sound like it was a pretty big deal that he even caught her. And then the fact that he pretty much, like, pulled the bullet out of her. And then he pretty much...
It's not there.
Huh?
The bullet's not there. Like, it's not real. None of it's real. And, I mean, we see that whenever he, like, it shows the green.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah, because in the Matrix, it's green, and it, yeah.
Yeah. So, but in her, because Morpheus says in the first one, if the mind is killed, like, you can't have the body without the mind. And right. So in the like, while you're in the Matrix, if you die in the real world too. And so her body is reading that she died in the Matrix, so therefore her mind's going to go, okay, well, I died in real life.
Yep. Well, and then he jumpstarts her heart. Like, he massages it pretty much to jumpstart it, essentially.
Yeah, because he's trying to get the mind to comprehend that you can be alive, don't die.
And then it mirrors what she did for him in the first movie.
This one was my least favorite of the three, so I don't really have a favorite part per se. I'd say the weirdest part of this movie is probably when the Frenchman gives that girl the cake. Right. That was The Matrix Reloaded. Let us know in the comments what you think. This wasn't really our favorite one out of the three, especially me. So let us know. I know a lot of people, and this was the biggest one out of the three, but I think it's because the hype from the first one was so big, and then we got to this one, and people were mad at how it kind of made a turn there with the architect, because how he talked about things. So people were kind of a little mad. So that's why the third one didn't do so well, which we'll get into that in the next video. But give us a comment. Let us know what you think of these movies, the franchise, that sort of thing. We would love to go back and forth with you and chit chat. We really appreciate everybody that watches and likes our videos and subscribes to us. We really appreciate you all. We thank you again. Until next time, this is my BFFF Shelly. I'm Tiffany. Join us next time, friends, for another great episode.